you join us today here at Carbonwurks, and I've got Lorcan here next to me who's driven, and it took him nearly 6 hours to get here from AC Schnitzer UK. And so behind me is a very special car. This is the first time it's really had much of an outing. So thank you for joining us, first of all. Appreciate you coming down. This thing looks amazing, I have to say. Particularly in black, this is very mean looking. So do you think you'd give us a little tour around this beast and tell me a little bit about the car?
Sure thing.
Start off at the front end and go from there.
So this is a BMW M240i with our conversion package on it.
Okay.
So all the parts on this car are from AC Schnitzer. Starting with probably obviously the wheels. These are 20-inch AC4 flow formed wheels. This is our latest design.
Okay.
These weigh in at 11 kilos each, so they're lighter than the 19-inch wheels that come as standard on this car. So that helps with suspension response, steering response, everything like that, having less unsprung weight. Plus, we also think they look rather nice. They're available in this black colour or a bi-colour finish.
Fantastic. And those are Michelins on there, are they?
Yeah, we always go for non-run flat tyres. I mean, a lot of BMWs come in run flats, but we prefer non-run flats. So the Pilot Sport 4S, which we've checked are compatible with X-Drive. This car is X-Drive, so you need to be careful with tyre choice on X-Drive cars to make sure there's no problems with the transfer case.
Sure, okay, nice.
This is our sports suspension, which is fixed rate dampers and our lowering springs combined together. The two are developed together so that they work in harmony. The damping rates match the spring rates and so on. Gotcha. So the end result is a better ride and better control than the BMW adaptive suspension.
Fantastic. And in terms of the actual amount that this is lowered by, currently what would you say this is sitting compared to factory?
It's about 20 to 25 millimetres. We don't go for excessive lowering, we go for lowering that gives the handling benefits but retains the comfort.
That's it. I mean, even as the car was just being moved around there, you could still see that there was good clearance on the front still, which is obviously really important when you're buying additionals like front splitters.
Yeah, so this is all intended for a daily driving car. It's not a race car.
Absolutely, nice. So this has got the front splitter here on this car, and this is, what did you say, what was the type of composition?
This, I believe, is a kind of ABS plastic, but most of the aerodynamic stuff on the car that isn't carbon is made in PU rim, which is a plastic specifically for bodyworks, one that BMW use, and an AC Schnitzer try and equal BMW's quality or go one step higher.
Okay, brilliant. Nice. Well, let's go and have a look at the back of the car, because there's obviously a few little bits and pieces going on there, including a fruity little exhaust system that I saw earlier.
Yeah.
So talk me through the back here. What's going on?
So we have some aerodynamic parts on the car at the rear. So a roof spoiler, which is a signature AC Schnitzer part.
Yep.
Bumper protection strip. That goes on top of the rear bumper for when you're loading in your bags to protect that area. And later on there will be a couple of boot spoiler elements which will replace this BMW spoiler. They're back ordered, so I haven't made it onto this car at the moment. The exhaust basically is an axle back silencer with carbon fibre tailpipes. I think they're 100 millimetres thereabout diameter, which gives the car as much sound volume as you can have legally and without deleting the cats or OTF.
Sure. Yeah, they look nice. I have to say that the matte carbon finishes it off well, and I really like the signature plaque as well. That's a really nice touch.
Yep, AC Schnitzer don't shy away from putting their name on anything, as you'll notice as you go around the car.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what you're here for, really, isn't it? I have to say it looks fantastic. So, brilliant. There's a few other bits inside. Am I right in saying that? There's a few bits. Great.
Yeah,
well,
just to remind you that you're in an AC Schnitzer car.
Oops. Let's try that again. Excellent. So what have we got here? A few little bits and pieces by the looks of it.
So we have a pedal set and footrest, which are machined out of alloy. We've been selling those parts for many years. On this car we have a metal paddle set as well to replace the plastic shift paddles.
Okay.
And we have our sports steering wheel, which is in perforated leather and Alcantara. Gives you a nice finish and a nice feel to the car.
Nice. Yeah, it's just a few choice bits and pieces on the inside, just to take away some of the dead plastic looking parts on the inside, like the pedal set, that's really nice. It's a nice touch. Well, I have to say this looks fantastic. I'm a big fan of black cars, but they also get really dirty very quickly.
Black car in January.
Yeah, exactly. That's a brave choice. So brilliant. Well, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to give this car a little bit of a drive out. So I've been told that I'm allowed to give this car a blast, which, if I'm honest, I've not driven a new 2 Series at all. So none of the G series I've actually driven, so I'm really looking forward to just giving this a drive around the block and seeing what it's like. It's not the best weather conditions. I think it's probably about, what, according to the watch, 2 or 3 degrees out at the moment, so a bit cold and slippery, but yeah, let's give it a little bit of blast out and we'll see you guys a little bit later on.
This sports suspension is basically custom-made springs with like a Bilstein type damper.
Okay, that's interesting. But it's basically to your specifications.
Yeah. And Schnitzer do a lot of testing, at the Nürburgring, at Spa, but also on the road and on the autobahns to make sure the car is, safe and stable.
Well, I have to say, I mean, so far, I know I've not done a particularly long journey in this so far, but it feels I mean, these are big wheels on this car. I honestly wouldn't believe that these are 20-inch wheels on this current setup in the suspension. It feels quite compliant. I mean, I'm in the sports mode now,
yep.
And it feels nice. It feels very tractable. It's just, yeah, that's quite surprised me. And is it still adjustable when you change between the comfort and the
these are
modes?
non-adaptive dampers, just fixed rate, just nicely matched to the spring rate.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Put a little bit of a blast. I'll tell you what, that's quicker than I was expecting. That is quicker than I was expecting.
374 horsepower standard, so
wow. It's
quite a lot in a 2 Series as it is. And as I said, it's the same as the original M2 in terms of power output standard.
That's I am really impressed actually the way that this is, and as I said, I've not really thrown it round corners because the conditions are not ideal for it, but it really does feel very compliant. And I'm just gonna, like, 4-wheel drive. Wow, okay. It feels effortless. That feels so easy to drive, even though, as I said, that's not flat out, but that still feels really easy in seriously slippery conditions just to power through. And I think those dampers are doing making at least a good part of difference in helping with stability.
One of the reasons Schnitzer go with a passive damper rather than adaptive is it makes the car more predictable. So you can learn the car's behaviour better, and the car isn't constantly changing its mind about how it's going to react to a driving situation.
So this feels different to me, this steering wheel. Obviously you've got some nice chunky paddles, which they're actually angled slightly differently, I think, to the standard paddles. So they're actually set slightly further back, which means, well, basically as you turn the wheel, you have a bit more control and comfort over those paddles. So that feels nice. It feels nice and positive.
Have a slightly more positive action.
Yeah, I like that. That's nice. It's obviously a nice steering wheel. So, and these alloy pedal matches set here. That's also a nice little touch. So are these available for just auto, or is there a manual version as well that you offer for these for?
At the moment it's just auto. It used to be manual. I mean, there's hardly any manual cars now, so
that's true. Yeah.
It's just auto at the moment.
Right. So I've managed to find a little bit of a straight. It's not dry, but it's a little bit of a straight road. So I'm going to hear this exhaust in full whack. All right, here we go.
It grips quite well. Considering it's quite slippery.
That's ridiculous, really, isn't it? I mean, that's honestly possibly the worst conditions you can do a form of launch in, and that went. But you can feel it squats really well, actually. Again, that could be partly down to the suspension that's on this, but it didn't struggle with that in the slightest. That's impressive. So we've just had an overview of this car, taken it out on the road, and we're about to do a little rev video as well. I hope you've enjoyed that video. I have to say this looks fantastic in the flesh. You may not be able to see it with it being a black car in photos, but I can assure you in the flesh this is a real piece of work. It's a bit of a beast. So hope you've enjoyed that. A little bit of a teaser. There's a little bit of a historic, maybe not the best condition right now, but there's plans to get this one looking nice in the future. But nice little bit of a throwback. Hope you enjoyed that video. See you guys soon.